So imagine a world parliament. Imagine 193 voices gathering together in New York to deliberate over matters of peace and security. The United Nations was established in 1945 with the signatory of 50 countries for the express purpose of preventing the outbreak of war and averting a world war. The United Nations has many parts to it. It deals, for instance, with matters of economics and social policy. It deals with matters of human rights. It deals with matters of culture. But the most important parts of the UN are the Security Council, which has 5 permanent members who are responsible for controlling its policy. These are France, Britain, the United States, China, and Russia. The other body that is very important is where all the nations meet and come together, and that is the General Assembly. Both the General Assembly and the Security Council pass what are called resolutions to make policy for the world. The UN has been responsible for eradicating polio in Africa, for instance, of dealing with problems of debt or problems of other diseases spreading. The UN has been very important in making sure that human rights are observed. The most famous document is the United Nations Declaration of Human Rights, which has been ratified and kept by many countries. The UN, precisely because it's so complex, is determined to make sure that everything is done towards a big picture of peace and trying to make sure that humanity attains the primary purpose of what it says, that we believe. We believe in a better future.
The USA that played out globally. We've tried to shy away from calling conflicts ideological or civilizational here on Crash Course, but in this case, the clash of civilizations model really does apply. Socialism, at least as Marx constructed it, wanted to take over the world, and many Soviets saw themselves in a conflict with bourgeois capitalism itself. And the Soviets saw American rebuilding efforts in Europe and Japan as the US trying to expand its markets, which, by the way, is exactly what we were doing. So the US feared that the USSR wanted to destroy democratic and capitalist institutions, and the Soviets feared that the US wanted to use its money and power to dominate Europe and eventually destroy the Soviet system. And both parties were right to be worried. It's not paranoia if they really are out to get you. Now, of course, we've seen a lot of geopolitical struggles between major world powers here on Crash Course, but this time there was the special added bonus that war could lead to the destruction of the human species. That was new for world history, and it's worth remembering, it's still new.
Восток и Запад, семьи эвакуированных с их наспех собранным скарбом.
В 1953 году мы взрывали вот эту бомбу тоже на башне, но это была не наилучшей конструкции водородная бомба. Можно было сделать в этих же габаритах более мощную бомбу.
12 августа 1953 года. Испытание первой в мире водородной бомбы мощностью взрыва в 20 раз больше, чем взрыв атомной бомбы. Из воспоминаний Сахара. Испытание вызвало огромный интерес и волнение во всем мире. В США его окрестили Джо-4. 4 порядковый номер советских испытаний. Джо соответствует Иосифу, имя Сталина. Мощность взрыва и другие параметры оказались близкими к расчету. Начальство было в восторге. Мы же понимали, что еще предстоит колоссальная и нетривиальная работа. На самом деле и мы недооценивали ее масштаб.
In 1948, the Berlin airlift began. The Soviets had blockaded the city and choked off its overland lifelines. The West realized a military counterforce was needed. On April 4th, 1949, NATO was founded. 12 leaders from Western Europe, the United States, and Canada met in Washington and signed the North Atlantic Treaty. U.S. President Harry Truman said the goal of NATO was peace, not war.
Men with courage and vision can still determine their own destiny. They can choose slavery or freedom, war or peace. I have no doubt which they will choose.
Exactly 10 years after the end of World War II, German Chancellor Konrad Adenauer led his country into the alliance. German forces were urgently needed to bolster NATO defenses against a possible Soviet invasion. In 1966, French President Charles de Gaulle delivered a blow to NATO unity, pulling France from NATO's integrated military command. De Gaulle could not tolerate what he saw as American and British domination of the alliance. This decision stood until 2009, when it was reversed by President Nicolas Sarkozy.
I'm talking to you by telephone from the Oval Room at the White House. And this certainly has to be the most historic telephone call ever made from the White House. I just can't tell you how proud we all are of what you have done. For every American, this has to be the proudest day of our lives. And for people all over the world, I am sure that they too join with Americans in recognizing what an immense feat this is. Because of what you have done, the heavens have become a part of man's world. And as you talk to us from the sea of tranquility, it inspires us to redouble our efforts to bring peace and tranquility to earth. For one priceless moment in the whole history of man, all the people on this earth are truly one. One in their pride in what you have done, and one in our prayers that you will return safely to earth. Thank you, Mr. President. It's a great honor and privilege for us to be here representing not only the United States, but men of peace of all nations, and with interest and a curiosity and with a vision for the future. Honor for us to be able to participate here today. And thank you very much, and I look forward, all of us look forward to seeing you on the Hornet on Thursday. Splashdown should be on Thursday, 1250 miles southwest.